from Anchor. It's the Treeo podcast, starring Bubble and Curbs. This is Who's Bubble Lux and Mr. Curbs of the Treeo Orchestra, inviting you to join the trio. Special guest, Dominick Spano. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the trio. Why, hello, everybody. Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back to the Trio podcast. It's been a while, but we are back, and we are here with a very special guest. We are here with Dominick Spano. Welcome to the channel. He does all sorts of movie reviews, comedy. I really find his movie reviews really intriguing, and I'm a big movie fan myself, as you guys know, me and Curbs. So we're gonna check this out. This is gonna be fun, and yeah, I hope some people enjoy this interview. So welcome, Dominick.
Oh, Bubbles and Mr. Curbs. Thanks for having me.
Welcome. So first off, for people that don't know you, just introduce yourself. You know, what do you do, and tell us about your channel a little bit.
Well, just really quickly, for my day job, I work as an instructor in business and public management across multiple institutions there. But more so, this is more so a fun type of podcast or a fun type of discussion here. So I'm going to go a little bit more of the hobbies and the channel and so forth. I had a channel at one point. It's still around. Basically, during the pandemic, I did comedy. Comedy that was meant to make you think, comedy that was meant to make you laugh, comedy that was meant to make you feel things in the best way possible there. But I'm also a big fan of movies. A cinephile. I go to the movies pretty much every week. I've seen many movies. I used to work in the film industry many moons ago. And it's just a hobby. It's not something I really get. It's not like a job, but it's something that I just enjoy, like a deep passion, a love of the silver screen. So we'll probably be talking some movies. We'll probably be talking some of the old comedy I did. But if you want to talk about movies, if I saw the movie, I probably have something to say about it there. So that's a pleasure to be talking about that here with you, Bubbles and Mr. Curb.
All right, great. So what inspired you to first create your YouTube channel?
I guess during the pandemic, the YouTube channel, comedy, during the pandemic, there wasn't all that much to do. And I mean, I'm certainly not the only one who felt that way. So, it was during the pandemic and a little bit after, just things that were on my mind, just quick things to film on my phone, make some sort of a joke or some sort of an anecdote or some sort of a story, some sort of a share, and just talk about it, see if I could spin something that happened to me into something that would maybe brighten someone's day or make them smile or maybe make them, think a little bit. Some of the comedy I used to write will go with the old channel there. I tried to be a little bit insightful at times and sometimes infuse my own personal, opinions about things in there. It's not too dissimilar that anyone else has done. It's not reinventing the wheel, but it was just something I did for a little bit of fun there for a while. I haven't done it in quite some time. I don't really think I'm going to be doing it in the future, but hey, listen, I mean, things could change. See what things take you.
Now, are you like into comedy? Like, have you ever done I guess stand up or anything along those lines? Or
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I did. I have. I mean, I'm not like, doing it now, but when I was much younger, we're talking about a dozen years ago, I always wanted to be a stand-up comedian. I mean, I don't really want to do that at this point anymore. I mean, I'm a little bit old now, but when I was about 12 years ago, maybe even 13 years ago, I took a class at the Improv Comedy Club. It's not there anymore, but it used to be at the old casino. And yeah, I pretty much went every week, and I took I think it was twice a week, and I met colleagues there, and we had a lot of fun doing it. I did many shows actually. I doubt that it's still available online because we're talking many, many moons ago. I did many shows, and I think I was pretty good at it. At the very least, I had a good time, met some nice people. But I mean, that was when I was in my 20s. It was kind of a while ago there. So I stopped doing it, but it was like a dream that I had or a hobby that I had, and I actually went ahead and did it, even if it didn't really, I didn't get any fiscal, you know, earnings from it really, but experience, fun, life. When you're at the end of your life, you look back and say, "Hey, I did that. I was in a little improv troupe for a little while there with some cool people." I also used to work in the film industry. When I graduated college, it was around 2008, 2009, 2010, and there were no jobs to be had, kind of like now in 2016. So what I did during that time for money is I worked on various television shows as background talent. And it was like my job for 2 years. I ended up getting bumped up to be a production assistant. I worked, even though most of these shows are canceled now, they're not on anymore. We're talking many moons ago. There was a show called Burn Notice on USA that they filmed right here in Miami. And I went to set pretty much every single day. It was $125 a day, which was pretty decent money at that time, to basically be background talent or the extras when you're watching a television show. Obviously, if someone's walking down the street, there's people who are walking around the background. If someone's in a classroom as a student, there's going to be other, students sitting at the other desk that don't say anything really. So I did that for a number of years, 2, 3, maybe 3.5 years there. I was on very Burn Notice. There was a show called Charlie's Angels that was only on for a season, but I was on that. Some of these other movies that were filmed in Miami, Step Up to the Streets, I was on those. Background talent. I needed the money at the time. I mean, it was my job when I was much younger after college there. I didn't do it for like a month. I did it for like 3 years. I would drive down to Miami virtually every single day. Then later on, I became a production assistant. So I was kind of in charge of the extras, and I did that for a year. Um, at that time, it was pretty good for me. But eventually, I moved on and did other things. They're fond memories. I mean, I'm almost getting a little emotional talking about it. It was a long time ago. I haven't thought about this stuff in a while. You guys are tapping into something.
Well, that's actually very interesting. Being a background extra. I have an aunt that like does something similar. Like she used to do a lot of like I guess like background extra work, just appearing in
Yeah,
like the background of TV shows. It's pretty cool.
I liked it. But it
So
doesn't really pay really quick. I mean, super quick. It doesn't really pay benefits and a livelihood. So it's maybe some. I don't know if you could do it for a long, like a career forever as you get older and stuff and have children. It's not sustainable in that way. But from when I was younger, it worked out pretty well.
so what would you I guess like what was the for your YouTube videos, why did you label I guess like all of your videos like comedy and something? Like what was the like just
I guess my logic in doing that was I thought that if somebody typed in, I mean, I didn't like do research about this and so forth. I just kind of did it. I figured that maybe somebody would type in comedy channel or just comedy or laugh or something like that, and maybe it would pop up on the algorithm. I guess that was the thought process behind that there at that point.
So I guess getting into movies, I guess what would you say are like your like top like favorite movies?
I think, I mean, when I was a little bit younger and still now, if somebody asked me that direct question, which you just did, I would have to go the way of I'm a big fan of movies that are like horror slash thriller slash maybe even psychological thriller movies. There was a movie that came out many moons ago starring John Cusack, who hasn't really been around for a while. It was called 1408. That's 1408. It was about him checking into a hotel and, the whole plot, but it was really on the strong end of movies that I'm describing here. Thriller slash horror, really more so in the thriller realm. As of when we're taping this, June 2026, the big hotness right now, it's a movie called Backrooms. I saw that
Mm.
twice. I mean, I really, really liked that. The first time I saw it, I thought it was like okay slash good, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I saw it for a second time. Another one that springs to mind that's in that wheelhouse. This is from like 20 years ago, but it was called Secret Window, and it was starring Johnny Depp. They don't really play it that much on streaming. Maybe you've heard of it, maybe you haven't, but that was really a good one for a horror slash thriller type of movie. There's so many of them. There was one called I think it was called One BR, One Bedroom, One B period R period. It floats around on Tubi all the time. That was a really good one for a little bit of a thriller there. All these are coming. There was another one called Look Away. That was really good. Also, it was about a long story short with that. There was this very attractive, younger girl who had like a twin, like in the mirror, and she switched places. But you'd have to see. It's kind of hard to explain. But she kind of switched places with essentially the twin or her evil self in the mirror. That was a good one. I mean, I could go on and on. I mean, the more, I could probably sit down and name more of them. But those are really kind of like the main ones that I like. Of course, I like a good comedy. I mean, that's not the only ones that I like. I mean, of course, romance is good. Of course, some comedy, something to make you think, something to make you feel. But if I had to say what's your favorite, I'd have to maybe say horror/thriller. But again, other movies too, something that makes you think, makes you feel. This is a little bit out of the past. It's certainly not a horror or thriller, but there was a comedy that came out quite a long time ago. It kind of stinks because they only throw it on Tubi for like 2 weeks out of the entire summer. They throw it on, they take it off almost immediately. But I grew up with this movie. If there's someone who's, my age, it was called The Girl Next Door. It came out in, I think, 2003, 2004. I think it was 2004. That's kind of a classic movie there. People who are, in the age range that I am would remember. But there's so many movies. I mean, so many of my fond memories were in the movie theater. I mean, it's just something that I love. I truly love it. When you see a good movie and you walk out of there and it just blows you away, there's pretty much nothing like it, in my opinion, in my book.
I mean, you mentioned Backrooms, which is like a very recent, very popular new horror movie. Have you
Very
seen
recent.
Obsession?
I did. I did.
What were your thoughts on that? Because that, I mean, out of like I guess the past couple months, that I think was probably one of the best horror movies I've seen. Probably best horror movie of this year so far.
I'm gonna give. Well, let me take a step back. It was definitely good, for sure. It was definitely a good movie. I'd go as far as to say it was a very good movie. But people are treating it as if they've never seen anything like that in their life. And that's not really true. Again, I don't want to be, some sort of a wet blanket here, but I'll explain it. Basically, that movie was Be Careful What You Wish For. And that plot has been done to death. There was a movie called Wish Upon, starring Joey King, that was very similar. There was a movie called The Monkey's Paw. That's where that origination comes from. Of Be Careful What You Wish For. That was exactly the same theme. There were other movies, you'll probably laugh when I say this, but even the movie Aladdin was a little bit Be Careful What You Wish For.
Yeah.
This is a plot that's been done to death. People treated this like it was something it reinvented the wheel. It didn't. However, the directing of the movie was excellent, especially for a low budget movie with a very low with not too much financial expenditures. The thing that made the movie special, it was essentially two things. It wasn't the plot and it wasn't the story. Because we've seen that. Oh, there was another movie called Ruby Sparks that was a comedy, but part of that was kind of Be Careful What You Wish For. My point is that we've seen this plot. Be careful what you wish for. The thing that made that pushed that movie from just another movie like that to something that people are talking about with two components. The first component was the directing of the movie. The directing of the movie. When they showed the girl kind of standing in the shadows and just kind of standing there, the way the camera panned, even at the beginning when he was, out to like lunch and practicing on the waitress where he's going to tell the girl that he was in love with her. When they kind of panned and the girl stood completely still and like, oh, is this smile the right way? The directing of the movie was special and unique. And I don't know the name of the actress off the top of my head. I know for a fact that she was in Superman and Lois, which was an excellent show. But whatever the name of the actress is who played the main girl in the movie, the like 25-year-old girl in real life, her acting was special. I mean, she pretty much put that entire movie on her back and did all the heavy lifting. The guy in the movie did a fine job. But if you really think about it, what did he do? He ran around and he was nervous and he looked scared occasionally. That's all he did. The girl who went, again, I don't know the actress's name. So the actress in the movie, the main actress, basically carried an entire movie on her back. So between her wonderful acting and between the directing, that pushed that movie from being okay, pretty good, to something that people are talking about, to something that made box office, to something that are going to be people are talking about. And I guess a movie, Be Careful What You Wish For hasn't really come out for a while. That's why people are kind of not saying, hey, this plot, we've seen this before. But listen, I liked it. I saw it. I mean, in my book, thumbs up. I'm making it seem like I didn't like it. It was it was a good movie slash basically I give it the push to very good movie. So I don't want to be the guy who's like, oh, that wasn't good, because that's not what I thought. It was good. But I've seen a lot of movies and the plot was a little bit hackneyed or a little bit, it's been done before. But the directing and the acting really made it stand out in a positive way. And maybe younger people connect with it, maybe because the people in the movie were like in the low 20s or 20s or whatever. Maybe they connect with it more than, I'm a little bit older than that. But hey, listen, people loved it. It made money. I liked it. So it's a win all around to me.
Yeah, I do agree that the best part of the movie was definitely her acting. I believe her name's Indy.
Yes.
That was
For acting, right?
Yeah, her acting was really
Yeah.
easily the best part of the movie.
I would agree that it's kind of overdone. That whole genre, yeah. I would say I did like Backrooms more too. I did like Backrooms more.
They came back to back, basically. They came out around the same time. I saw
Yeah,
Backrooms twice. Yes, I thought Backrooms. I mean, they were both good. I mean, they both made a lot of money and they were both good. But I think that people are going to be talking about and thinking about Backrooms for a longer period of time. Obsession will just be seen as that was a pretty cool type of Be Careful What You Wish For movie with special acting in it. Backrooms, people are going to be analyzing and thinking about. I'm trying to think of another movie that people kind of like. There's been a few of them where if you bring it up, people analyzed and thought about for a long time. But Backrooms is definitely be one of them where they're gonna be, oh, what was the ending mean? Was she alive? What happened? I mean, something. There are two or three others that I can't think of off the top of my head that people still talk about this day that came out 10, 20 years ago that were like that. That wasn't the first one that was like that. I mean, that was very unique. But there have been others like that. For hand to God, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but there have been that people talked about for a long time. You bring it up, people will remember.
yeah.
That I totally agree with that because coming out of the movie, I thought, oh, Obsession was way better, but then I kept thinking about it for the whole week, and it's so
Yeah,
unique.
Well,
It's really good.
they're both very similar in the fact that they're both like low budget horror movies that are both directed by like YouTubers. So it was like very I guess like unique that they both came out like basically like a week apart and they both did like extremely well, especially for being like
Right.
I guess pretty much like original concepts.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
So you've seen a lot of movies, but in one of your videos, comedy and cinema failed us. You said that cinemas are overpriced and not as good as streaming services. Do you still stick by that, or is that outdated?
It depends. I do think that it is, especially in 2026 in a failing economy, for an average working class guy like me or any of us. I mean, I'm just a working class. I'm basically work as a teacher. Basically, I don't, to tell you the truth, I don't remember precisely what I said there, but what I really meant was, it costs almost $20 to go to a movie if you go at night. If you go at night, if I went to the movies tomorrow's Thursday night, I have the movie pass, so I go for flat like $30 a month or whatever, as much as I want. But if you just didn't have that or whatever, and you went to the movies on a Thursday night or Friday and Saturday night, I don't know how many people go to movies alone. I mean, I do just because it's kind of like my hobby. But if you, let's say you take a girlfriend and they want candy and all this stuff, you have $100. Okay, that's a lot of money.
Right.
And how many movies are good? Yeah, we're talking about the movies that were good. We named two of them. We named some of them there. But out of 100 movies, maybe there's three or four that are really good. Like some random, you know, some random Harry Potter movie that comes out like once every how many years, or some random Star Wars movie, maybe not the recent one, but some random old school Star Wars movie that comes out how many years, or some really special movie, Superman 2025 that you were dying to see. That's worth it. But some random movie that's not so good, and I'm going to spend $100, and people are going to talk, and no one's going to really care what's going on. How often is it really worth the money? And we're in a challenged economy. That might have been what I meant by that. Again, I don't remember what I said on the video precisely 5 years ago, but is it easier to lay in bed and wait for it to come on streaming for free? Is it cheaper? Think about it.
Right.
But on the other side of the coin, like I said, some of my most, wonderful experiences have been those few times that the polished gems of the type of movies, something like, An Obsession, something like A Backroom, something like, even though it came out a long time ago, the original Frozen, like before all the hype and stuff, something like the original Toy Story. You could go on and on. There's maybe one, two, three movies a year that fall into the category that this is something really, I just saw something really special. Not all the time, but when it happens, it really is magic in a bottle.
Yeah, I also like agree. Like I think movie theaters way too priced. Like I like the other day I was buying like movie tickets or whatever, and like it was like $22 like at like AMC. Like if you don't have like the Stubs membership that like gets you like the discounts or whatever, like the
Yeah.
prices are ridiculous.
I have stubs. I mean, I wouldn't go. I mean, I have stubs because I'm there every week. There's no way on this planet I would be there. I mean, it would make sense. So I'm stub. And by the way, they raise stubs every once in a while. It's like anything else. It creeps up $1 or two every how much people don't even notice
Yeah.
or whatever. But I mean, it's like anything else. But if you really quick on stubs, I mean, if you go to at least 2 movies a month, you kind of break even. You got to go to three for it to be worth it. I'm there pretty much every week, so
Mm,
I get my money's worth.
yeah. What would you so like 2026 there's been like a lot of great movies so far, but there's like still like half the year left, still a lot more movies to come, especially also a lot of big movies coming out in 2027 as well. What would you say are like probably like your most anticipated movies, like the movies you're I guess most excited for?
Probably see Toy Story literally comes out tomorrow. I'll probably see Toy Story tomorrow.
Oh, look at
I
that.
still have I still have the old school Woody here. So I think I'll give
uh
Toy Story a C tomorrow there. I don't know if that's my most anticipated. I mean, it's been they this is the fifth one. I'm a little bit, I'm a little bit older. I could practically have kids of my own going to see that with me at this point.
mhm.
But I'll give that a C tomorrow. I'm a DC guy, so I know Supergirl comes out. Maybe I think it's the week after that. I'll definitely give that a try. I mean, they say it might be just okay. I mean, I love DC Comics, so I'll give that a try, even if my expectations are just okay. I don't have like the calendars of all the movies coming out in front of me. I mean, I'm not really the biggest Marvel guy, but if somehow magically they could get back to the good old days of Marvel from like 15 years ago or maybe 10 years ago, Avengers Doomsday, they're gonna have to really work hard because Marvel kind of fell off the map here a little bit there.
Mhm.
Um Again, those are just kind of a couple of things that spring to mind. I don't really have the movies that are coming out in front of me or anticipated movies, but those are just a couple of things that spring to mind. I feel like there might be one or two that comes out toward the tail end of the summer there that I saw. You mentioned a couple, the Odyssey, I think you mentioned.
Right.
If that's good, I think
Yeah,
Matt Damon is the main guy, and others too. If that's good, that's awesome. I guess I'll see the Spider-Man movie. I could kind of live without it, but if it's free with it's free, even though it's not really free with the stubs, I might as well. I mean, it made so many of those, but see what happens. I mean, I'll see what happens. I feel like there's I feel like there's something I'm missing. I mean, I can't think of. You go to movies, you see all these trailers and stuff like that. I can't think off the top of my head, but hopefully something really hits that's good in the foreseeable future.
yeah. I also like the Toy Story movies. Obviously like the first three are like phenomenal, but the fourth one was like a big letdown. I didn't really like the fourth one, but I've been hearing good reviews about this fifth one. Like I've heard it's like people have been saying that it's like on par with the first three.
The first straight, I mean, yeah, I mean, I would kind of rank, the first one is the OG. So even though that might not technically be the best, it kind of is the best because it's the original. It's the first
Right.
movie like that ever made. So, I kind of give that the, if I had to rank them, I guess I would say one, two, three, and four. To me, three and four were almost on the same. I have to respectfully disagree with you. I thought that four was good. Maybe people say it's the weakest out of all of them, and that might be true, but I still think the weakest Toy Story movie is stronger than most movies like that. So I kind of
Yeah.
connected. Maybe I mean, I'm not going to say I might be a little bit older. Maybe when I saw it, I was connecting with letting go of things. They almost specifically make these movies. So what you're connecting with in your life when you see them, they're special movies. That's why they only come out with one of them every 7 or 8 8 years. One of them, there was like a 10-year gap and stuff like that. So I'll give it a C tomorrow. I'm sure as a grown man, I'll have to bring I cried during every single one of them. I don't really remember in 1995 when the first one came out, but I could tell you in 2019 when I saw Toy Story 5, I was in tears, in absolute tears. As a grown man at that time. I mean, I'm over a certain age. I'm going to see this one either tomorrow or the next day, or for certain over the weekend. I'm almost positive there'll be a point where I cry in this movie. When I saw the movie, what it was called, Wicked 1 and Wicked 2, I was in absolute tears at the very end of Wicked 2 that came out relatively recently. Sitting there crying, a grown man. I mean, that's how much movies affect me on an emotional level. And I'm sure that they're doing something right if they could make, people get that sort of a reaction. If that's a
Yeah.
goal,
The Toy Story movies I feel like are all usually like pretty great when it comes to emotional scenes. I remember that like scene from Toy Story 3, right? Like when they're in like the trash, like what is it, the incinerator, like in like the
yeah.
trash heap or whatever. Like that scene is
Yeah.
always
That
Yeah,
was
that one's sad.
probably peak. Yeah, that was probably that. I mean, if I now I'm thinking back, I'm thinking that scene. I mean, there's one in every movie. Toy Story 2 with Jesse's backstory, that
hmm
was pretty much next level when you were watching it at that time. Of course, Toy Story 3 probably walks away with the prize from what we're talking about there. I know you said you weren't a mega fan, Mr. Curves, but I mean, I kind of liked the end of Toy Story 4. And yeah, the first one I guess didn't have this huge emotional beat, but that was the first time that they had done it. It was just good all the way around.
hmm
um it's pretty hard to go wrong. And even if you're not the only one who said, oh, the fourth one was just okay. Even if let's say you see this one tomorrow or over the weekend, and if they hit 4 out of 5, that's pretty damn good,
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, I think the reason why the fourth one is viewed because like fourth one isn't viewed as highly as the others is because like Toy Story, like the first three movies are so good they just set such a high bar, and
High
like
bar.
yeah, and even though like the fourth one is like it's not a bad it's far from like a bad movie. It just doesn't reach like the high expectations of like the
Yeah,
first three, at
I
least for
get
me.
it. And probably the third one, most people, well, like we said, okay, the first one is the original, but technically speaking, the third one might have been the best one. So you're going from the best
Mhm.
one to maybe the weakest one. Like you said, yeah, I kind of get it.
Right. And this new one coming out is about like technology and AI, right, Curbs? I'm not
Yeah,
totally familiar.
it's
Yeah,
like they're facing off against like an iPad.
yeah,
Oh dear.
yeah.
Uh,
See it tomorrow. Comes out tomorrow night. They come out on Thursday night. I don't say Friday, but they really release them Thursday night.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna. I feel like that's definitely on like to see that Toy Story 5 and Supergirl. I want to see this month because I'm also a pretty big DC fan. I really liked the Superman movie last year. I don't think Supergirl is gonna be as good as that Superman movie, but I hope it's at least like near that level.
Yeah, I like the one from last year too. I didn't think the one from last year was perfect, but I'd have to say thumbs up from the one from last year. Like you said, my expectations, Supergirl, are a little bit lower, but like if you walk out of there with even a smile on your face, you did okay.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. My expectations with these movies are a little bit lower because I don't really pay for them. Again, I keep saying in quotation marks, I do pay, but I don't pay by the movie, whatever you want to say. So if I go into a movie and it's like this way, I'm like, okay, that was at least worth my time. I mean, a movie has to be really cruddy for me to say that that stunk because again, I'm paying by the month, not by the movie or whatever.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So like you say like you see like a movie every week and everything. Are you like a critic at all? Like do you use like Letterbox or anything? Like do you like have like post reviews stuff like that?
I'm gonna start doing that, I think. The answer is not really. I have done collaborative reviews with this gentleman named Jeff Kimmel, who does have a channel. It's called Kimmel's Irish Pub. You could type in Kimmel's Irish Pub Dominic, and you'll come up with at least maybe a dozen reviews that we've done together. But after, you're kind of reigniting something in me, with my love for cinema. So I might just start my own channel, or like I had the comedy channel, I might just devote, make it like transform it into a movie channel that was kind of both, just kind of like what I'm doing, just kind of like what we're doing now, just review a movie.
hmm
I don't care if there's hundreds of people to do it and just a few people see it. Maybe you could get some traction, or maybe you could just do it for fun.
Yeah, I mean that sounds like it could be,
Yeah.
I guess like a good idea for like the direction of your channel. Uh,
Well, we were
I guess
curious, what were some of your favorite videos that you've made in the past?
The old channel, I mean, I'm trying to think. All I could think of is there were a couple of videos that I made where I kind of tried to, well, some of the videos were on dating or going on dates and stuff like that. And I kind of told a lot of stories that I hope make people think because dating is kind of garbage these days. And those videos I made a few years ago. I mean, I kind of told some embarrassing stories or horror stories, but I also gave some stories that were wonderful. I kind of tried to be a little bit even keeled about that. I mean, some of those videos that are revealed a lot about my personal life and myself and stuff like that. I tried to put a little bit of nuance into some of them as well. So I think that the ones where I talk about dating or maybe put some sort of nuance into, I think I like those pretty good there. I think that those might fall in the category of videos that I enjoyed making there. I mean a lot of them. I don't remember how many, but there were quite a big sum of them there.
If you had to choose one, what would it be?
There was one that I made. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like my favorite, but it was about playing basketball against a friend from so many years ago. And I said we played on full court, just two guys playing full court basketball. And a lot of people got a kick out of that. So I kind of like that one. I think I like that one. There were a couple I made around the holidays with like, dress up in a Santa Claus hat. I think I enjoyed doing that a little bit too, just having fun. So I had some fun doing it for a while there, I think.
Well, speaking of the holiday ones, I think that my favorite video of yours is the Jewish Santa Claus. That one's
Oh, the Jewish
hilarious.
Santa Claus. That was a bit that I had when I was a kid many years ago. We're talking like almost 25 years ago. We came up, I don't know how I came up with that, with some friends. He was very, very skinny. He wears green and he dances around. And he puts his eyebrows up and down and stuff. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we had a good time. I came up with that years and years and years ago. So,
He's
yeah,
so
that was
thin he could fit under the door.
a I forgot about I mean, this was like 5, 6 years ago. He could fit under the. I'm laughing at my own stuff.
well, I mean, I guess my personal, I guess, favorite video that I've seen, it was actually the first one I think I saw, like, popped up on my YouTube. It was called like Ghetto Panera Bread.
The ghetto
Yeah, that was,
man.
yeah, that was, I always thought was pretty funny.
You go into the yeah that they kind of like didn't give a crap. They just wanted to
Yeah.
get you out of there and stuff. It kind of is. I still go to that Panera Bread. It kind of is still ghetto. There's
Oh,
bums and stuff that hang out there.
oh dear.
Yeah,
That's
They haven't
funny.
seen your video then. We have to show them.
yeah. They might ban me. You can't come here anymore, man.
Is that your favorite place to eat? What's your favorite
My
place to eat?
favorite place to eat is PDQ chicken.
Never heard of that.
Never heard
Yeah.
of it either.
It's kind of like a competitor to Chick-fil-A. It's actually really good.
Is that is
But I
that like
only
a
go
is that like a chain? Like is it like a chain, but like only like in like I guess like Florida or
it used to be the answer is yes, it is a chain. It is a
Like
chain.
Culver's.
There's one right here in Deerfield Beach. There's actually one by the AMC 18 in Pompano Beach. It's literally right outside the AMC theater there. Unfortunately, they haven't done that well, so they had to streamline their business. They closed a lot of restaurants, but it is a chain in Florida. It was originated by a couple of gentlemen. I actually did consulting for them also. It's a chain in Florida here. There's one in Deerfield Beach. There's one in Pompano Beach. I'm not really sure what other ones are because I don't really go that far outside of those two areas, but it's actually pretty good. It's actually really good. But I only go when there's a discount on the app or have coupons from, they have like, I forgot the Save Around book. They have coupons because this stuff is expensive now. I mean, in all honesty, if you go to like a Chick-fil-A, which is like the same thing, you spend $20 on just like fast food. It's not cheap.
yeah. I
You
guess
know.
I guess if I'm ever in Florida, I should check it out. So I guess we just have I guess like one more question to
I'm
just wrap
enjoying
things.
this. I mean, just as long as I'm having a good time.
No, but
So
I was just saying, like, just to, I guess, wrap things up. We just have one more question, and that's just like, I guess, like, why you stop posting, and do you think you'd ever make like a return to YouTube? I feel like you sort of answered this question throughout the, I guess, the interview, but I guess just still felt like asking it.
no sweat. Why I stopped posting? I just kind of ran its course. I mean, I don't really know if I was working. I was, in a PhD program when I was doing that. It was so long ago, and I just kind of eventually ran out of things to talk about. I just didn't feel like doing it anymore. It's not like there was this catharsis or something. I just kind of at one point said, I'm putting effort into doing this. People aren't really watching it. I'm kind of like almost begging my friends to watch it after a certain point, and I just kind of didn't want to do it anymore. It wasn't like this big, huge, like I, sat down and prayed about it or something. I just kind of stopped doing it. I mean, would I ever go back to it? To tell you the truth, I got to be a little bit careful. I mean, I got to be, I am a public figure technically, or whatever you want to say, because I work in education and stuff. So I got to kind of be a little bit careful about what I say now. But that's not really the reason why. I just kind of stopped doing it because it ran its course. If I did go back to it, it probably would be more so straight up, flat out movie reviews over like comedy. I'm thinking, because that's also a lot. You don't have to really come up with anything. You go to a movie and then you give your concrete opinion of it.
Right.
Yeah, I guess you have to come up with that, but you don't really have to think of anything per se, if that makes any sort of sense. Pretty much feel like I said everything I wanted to say in respect to the comedy there. Maybe I would do something with movies, movie reviews. Again, it's a really, really, really saturated market, but maybe I would go that way if I ever gave it a try again. I don't know if I was working as much back then. I mean, I do work multiple jobs now, so my time is lesser. That was kind of I had all the time in the world at that point there because COVID, a little bit after COVID, but never say never. Maybe with the
Hmm.
movie reviews, it's a little bit more so a similar but semi-different direction because we're doing that too also.
What is your favorite movie from this year so far?
I did this on, I'm trying to think. I mean, I recently did, hold on, just give me a second. Give me 1 second. Let me see something here.
You're good.
Let me see if I still have it. Yeah. I actually did a best and worst movies list on Kimmel's Irish Pub, and I still have it. It's only three of them, so I'll quickly read them off to you. I'm glad I was able to pull this up really fast. Let me print this out and take like 1 second because I have the three of them for each. I did the best movies of 2026 and the worst movies of 2026, and this was about a month and a half ago there. Uh, just give me 2 seconds.
All
I'll
right.
be glad to answer that. Good question. You guys have a talent for this.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, so the best movie of 2026. And again, this was about a month and a half ago that I did this. It's the middle of June 20 to 26th. We're taping this. The best movies of 2026 for the first handful of months there. I saw a movie called Whistle that was starring Daphne Keane. She played X-23
Mm.
in, the Logan movie that came out like a while ago. She was like a kid now. Now she's like a beautiful 25-year-old woman or 20 whatever year old woman. She's a grown woman. It was called Whistle. That was also kind of like be careful what you wish for sort of thing. But I just liked it. I liked seeing her as, she was an adult. It didn't hurt that she was, easy on the eyes. But it was also pretty cool. I really liked it. It was a little bit of a knockoff of Final Destination, but I really liked Whistle. It was with Daphne Keane and some others. Again, she played X-23, but she was like she was basically a little child then. That was a long time ago in Logan. Again, she's like a 20 whatever year old woman now. So that was really good one. I like that one. Second
Mm.
best movie of 2026 again. This was just some months ago, might have been a month and a half ago. There was a movie called The Deep Water. It wasn't in the movie theaters for very long, but it was starring Aaron Eckhart. He played Harvey Dent in the old Batman, in the old Nolan Batman movies, and it was starring Ben Kingsley. I mean, he's a much older guy, but he was in it for a little while there. It was called Deep Water. It was kind of like about sharks and a plane crash and water, but there was a twist in it that was really good. I like Aaron Eckhart. I feel that he's a little bit short, sold a little bit short. He should be in more movies, even though he's older now. But that movie Deep Water had a good twist there. I really liked that one. And the worst, I mean, excuse me, the third best movie, The Devil Wears Prada 2, with of course Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci. I thought that that was pretty good for the first some months there of 2026. The worst movies of 2026. There's a movie that came out a little while ago that was called Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling. I mean, I know a lot of people loved it and it was heavily praised. I hated it. I fell asleep in the movie theater like twice. It was too long. I went in the middle of the day with just me and one old man sitting there, and I just thought it was long and clunky, and it was just Ryan Gosling talking to a rock in space. I didn't like it.
Really?
Uh,
Wow.
I just didn't care for it. There was a movie called Shelter that was starring Jason Statham. I mean, we love Jason Statham. I love Jason Statham, but this was like kind of boring. It was just him as like working on a boat, and he didn't really do that much throughout the entire movie. So I really didn't get into this movie Shelter. I mean, Jason Statham for me is almost always a winner, but this one just didn't hit the marker. And the third one that I disliked for the worst movie of 20 to 26 was the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I mean, the first one that came out some years ago was like everybody could enjoy, like younger people, older people to grow up. This one was like straight up, flat out for children. Like just if you have young kids and you just want them to see bright lights and bounciness for an hour and 45 minutes, okay. But as a grown man, it was just kind of, it wasn't terrible, but it was just not where it needed to be there. It's like more of a disappointment than a bad movie in my book. But like I said, you see those are just for the first some months. These weren't like the best movies I've seen in my life, but I really like that. Going to the movie theater on some random Friday, seeing Whistle, Daphne Keene. I just connected with that one there. I did like that one pretty good there. So when you go to a movie and it really is magic, there really is something special about it in my book.
Well, you just mentioned like, you just mentioned Mario. Do you have any like video games that you like? Are you into like video games at all? Is there any video games that you're fond of?
I don't really play games that much anymore, though I don't, throw shade for people who do, even into their 30s, 40s, and beyond, because it could be something that's comforting. I mean, life could be pretty difficult and tough. If that's what makes you content, then if then that's good, as long as you do it in moderation. But I think growing up, I mean, I might be a little older than you guys. I'm not really sure, but I think growing up, my favorite, movie, my favorite, I'm sorry, video game was probably Sonic the Hedgehog, Sonic the Hedgehog 1, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, and Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Of course, you have the OG Zelda, excuse me, game was great. That was in the wow, I think it was 1988. A Link to the Past and some of these other games, but I kind of stopped playing these games a long time ago.
Mm.
However, again, it's just not my cup of tea at this point in my life, but I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. I loved it growing up. It made me very, very happy. Super Smash Brothers, some of these Batman games that came out were pretty cool. I mean, I really, really loved it. I don't really play them anymore, but if that's what makes someone happy and they're older and it's like an obsession or something like that, hey, listen, the world is tough. When you need to find some sort of safe haven, it's positive, in moderation, of course.
Yeah, I like I like Super Smash Bros. As well. That probably is my favorite video game if I had to choose
My
one.
favorite character was Star Fox because you could run away and just shoot with the gun and be cheap.
Oh,
Yeah. What's the most recent one you've played? I mean, I've played, like the most recent one, Ultimate, but
Yeah, the most recent one that came out it was a while ago, huh?
it was like 8 years
Um,
ago.
yeah. Wow. I
Yeah.
think I guess the one that came out for GameCube, I really got
Oh,
into at that point.
Melee.
Yeah,
Yeah. That
yeah.
that's actually the only one I've actually never played. I never owned a GameCube. I've played like the one on 64. I've played Brawl on Wii. I've played the Wii U one and the Switch one, but I haven't played. I never got to play Melee.
I think the best one was really I mean, I didn't play some, like I told you, I kind of thrown the towel at a certain point, but I think
Hmm.
the one for N64 was, I only played two of them, but they were both good. But the one that came out on N64 was really cool. That was a really big deal when that came out. I mean, I guess it still is, but when that came out, that was a big deal that they had all these essentially mascots of Nintendo fighting each other. In all these games, though, I had one character that stood out above the rest that I loved for Nintendo. I loved Wario the most. I always played as Wario in Mario Kart and Mario Party. Wario was my favorite.
Yeah.
You
I
liked
mean,
him.
I always every time I play Mario Kart, I always choose like Waluigi. So
Well,
constantly.
he's
Yeah.
skinny. He's fast. He's fast because he's skinny. Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody has a favorite. I like
Every-
kind of like the bad guy. He wasn't really bad. He was more like a weird guy. But I mean, the Mario is just too clean. He's just too, I
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
greedy guy, Wario, the
Yeah,
weird guy,
he's kind of like
Waluigi.
an underdog.
Yeah, I like So
Yeah.
yeah, I love the games, man. I mean, it's just it's something you love. Even though I don't really play it anymore, and in my heart, you can see the smile on my face just thinking about the games and stuff like that.
All right. Well, I'm glad that we stumbled upon your YouTube channel because this has been a great interview. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
Well, you know
Yeah, I
what?
think
I
that's
mean,
about it.
couple of things. I mean, I think that you guys, I mean, I teach digital marketing in one of my classes actually, and one of the questions that I have was interviewing. I was taught one of the lessons I have, and I'm not joking, in the class, and I have there's a full essay that the students have to write was on essentially podcasts and interviewing. Could anybody be an interviewer, or does it require a particular set of skills? 'Cause like these days, everybody under the sun thinks they could be an interviewer. I mean, my answer to that question is I think it requires a particular set of skills. You guys seem to have skills with listening, skills with tapping into something that somebody will smile, make them laugh, make them happy. And I think that will resonate with your viewers right here on your channel. At least that's how I felt as doing this interview. And I really mean that. It's not just some sort of jargon or some sort of boilerplate. I think that you guys have something here. You don't, you maybe don't know it, but I've worked with other people. You've really got something here.
Well, we appreciate that.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, it's very kind.
But yeah, once again,
Sure.
thank you so much. We'll put your channel in the description, and we could put the other guy's channel as well. What was the name of it
Kimmel's
again?
Irish Postcard. Yeah.
Right.
Kimmel's Irish Pub. I'm on it too. So Kimmel's Irish Pub.
All right, we'll also add that. But yeah, that just about does it. Thank you so much, Dominic, and we hope to have another interview coming out soon for the trio. So thank you so much, and have a good night.
All right.
Thank you.
Good night.